Let me tell you a story about a night that still haunts me. You know that feeling when you think you've finally found safety, only to realize you've walked right into something worse? That's exactly what happened to Sarah and me during the storm of '97. We were driving back from a weekend trip when the weather turned violent. The rain was coming down in sheets, making it impossible to see more than a few feet ahead. Our phones were dead and the old country road seemed endless. That's when we spotted it. An old motel, its vacancy sign flickering like a desperate heartbeat in the darkness. Relief washed over us as we pulled into the parking lot. The place looked run down, sure, but anything was better than being out in that storm. The owner, an elderly man with unusually pale skin and a crooked smile, gave us a room key without asking for payment up front. Looking back, that should have been our first warning sign. The room smelled musty, with water stains crawling up the walls like dark fingers, but we were too exhausted to care. It wasn't until around midnight that we started noticing things. The scratching sounds in the walls, the shadows that moved when they shouldn't, the whispers that seemed to come from the air vents. Then we found the newspaper clippings hidden behind the dresser. 5 people had disappeared from this very motel over the past decade. Each time, the police found nothing. No bodies, no evidence, just empty rooms with locked doors and windows. We tried to leave, but our car wouldn't start. The owner's office was dark now, and when we looked closer, we realized the vacancy sign hadn't been powered at all. It was reflecting something else entirely. Something that shouldn't have been there. Sometimes when you're desperate for shelter, you don't realize that what you're walking into is far more dangerous than what you're running from. We made it out that night barely, but to this day, I can't drive past motels in the rain without remembering that sometimes finding shelter doesn't mean finding safety. The scariest part? That motel isn't there anymore. When we went back the next day with the police, all we found was an empty lot with overgrown